All right, guys. So now the fun part, we're going to pick your products and start the actual drop shipping model. Now, this happens once you've kind of played around with your theme a little bit. You've kind of optimized your homepage slightly. Obviously, you're not going to install, like I said, any of the slideshows yet, or any of the hot products or featured products section like that, because you don't have any products yet. But you're going to want to make sure your theme and your logo and everything else is kind of squared away, and that it meets with your approval, because that's it will be a lot more difficult to do that once you have products in there. So take some time, make sure that you're happy with that. Then the very next thing we're going to go into is apps. And there's phenomenal apps in the Shopify store. A lot of them cost money, some of them don't. The best one is obviously, in my opinion at least, Oberlo, and that will help semi-automate the dropshipping process for you. You're still going to have to actually make the purchase, but that comes after someone purchases it from your store. So we're going to hit Get Oberlo, enter your store's URL, and that should be in there already. Okay, so then there we go. Official Star Wars, install the app. Okay, and then you can see, obviously, you can watch the tutorial here if you'd like. I'm just going to go straight into finding products because it's pretty self-explanatory, at least in my opinion. And you'll see that this is the Oberlo homepage and setup. I don't care, Thomas. Go away. I hate these things. You'll see that this is the initial setup that you have. When I was first starting out, I did drop ship, believe it or not, women's swimwear and bikinis. Probably, I think it was 3 months ago, I set that store up and ended up bagging it because it was trending at the time, and I made a decent amount of money off of it in about a month. And I literally did that for the free month trial, and then I shut it off because it was a popular time when people were. It was like spring into summer, and people were buying a lot of bathing suits. Women were buying a lot of bathing suits, and I capitalized on that for free. And that's something that you can do. Obviously, if you're playing the long-term game, you're going to want to take a little bit more time, kind of optimize and make your listings kind of stand out and take a little bit more time from that. Or, you can literally just kind of pick trends that people are passionate about. Maybe it's fidget spinners. Maybe you open up a fidget spinner store. I would recommend against that. That's just a good example because it's a trending product, and I'm sure you know that, obviously. But I would obviously caution not to do fidget spinners. There's a million fidget spinners out there, all selling in various different places. High competition, bad choice. Just a good example of something that's trending is what I'm trying to say. So I did bathing suits and women's swimwear like 2-3 months. I think it was a month or two ago, actually. And that actually sold relatively well. And then I canceled my subscription. So I never actually had to pay a dime for Shopify in that model. And essentially what you can do is you can play the long-term game and keep the store open. Or you can, literally just keep hitting on trends for the time being. And like I said, you can use that 14-day trial to your advantage. But then what most people don't know is because a lot of people don't ask. And all you have to do is simply ask, and they will literally give you more time. And you can continue to create Shopify stores with Shopify trials and capitalize on trends for a month or two and utilize that to your advantage. So you're not going to want to remove the password. You're going to, once you do apply and give your email, you're going to want to kind of get in there and optimize your store as quick as possible to utilize that time window to start making sales fast. But like I said, you can play the long-term game or capitalize on trends and just continue to do that. So we're going to get into the kind of how to pick products. One of the great things about Oberlo and the online manufacturers is the descriptions are already there, but like I'll go into it briefly and show you the example I'm going to show you. But the descriptions aren't very good. So there's product information there for you, but it's not the best layout. So you're going to want to obviously switch the product information. I'll show you what I mean. But they do have pictures, which, obviously a lot of the pictures aren't very good, but they do have pictures that you can use. So that's a good thing. And some of them are good. So I'm going to show you, there's fidget spinners right there. $12.99 is outrageous price. I'm doing Star Wars, so I'm going to search the store for Star Wars. You can, before I get into that, you can literally go into categories and search that way. Obviously here's watches. Everybody does watches, shoes. Like I said, I would pick something that's really, really targeted, but you should have already done that already and really drives passion. Star Wars is a great one for that. So I'm going to pick Star Wars. search the store for Star Wars, and we'll see what comes up. And literally, that's not Star Wars, that's not Star Wars. This is Star Wars, that's cool. I remember there used to be a lot of other Star Wars stuff here. Yeah, okay, so here we go. You got Star Wars Ice Tray, Star Wars Ice Tray, Star Wars LED Stormtrooper helmet, Star Wars electronics. I believe that there was really cool Star Wars lights that I saw, and obviously there's a bunch more here. But I'm just going to go through is that a Star Wars minion? That's really funny. And you can see how cheap these are. I mean, this Star Wars helmet. Let's just click on this for a second. And obviously, you're going to want to add, you don't have to add them all. What I like to do is I like to look at the rating first and foremost, because you don't want returns. You're going to want to make sure that you go up here and you sort it by, go to advanced, sort it by, okay, here it is. Sort it by order count. And what that will do is that will not only sort it by order count, but it will sort it by rating too most of the time. Okay. Feedback score, price, sort by relevance. Okay. It's been a minute, but there is a way to sort it. Essentially what you're going to want to look for is you're going to look for how many orders they had, whether they or not they have ePacket. You don't need ePacket, but it helps because ePacket kind of minimizes the day and it gives you a tracking number once you get it into the States. Or, in your case, whatever country it may be, I'm shipping from the States. So ePacket's great. It kind of minimizes the time. If it doesn't have ePacket, that's not necessarily a be-all, end-all. You can still use it if it doesn't have ePacket. It just might take the shipping a little bit longer. And I like to say at the end of the shipping page, like when people go in to make the purchase on the shipping page, I like to have that disclaimer there so that obviously you can go back and say, look, the site says it takes 2 to 3 weeks, or it could take 10 to 20 days. So that disclaimer will be there because you don't want unhappy customers. You don't want returns. It's just a hassle. But you can see really how cheap these things are. This helmet is literally a helmet people can wear, and they're selling it for $3. You can probably upsell this for like at least 20, if not 30, to be honest. So that's a great product to have. We can add that to the store. We'll show you. But you can literally add all these products, and you see 8 orders here. Not too much, but it has 5-star rating, so that's good. You're gonna want to look for more orders than that, but you're also gonna look for high ratings. So we're going to go in and add all these. Let's add this Yoda just to kind of show you. This is 10. Oh, this is one of those cool fighting Yodas. That's cool. I'm going to sell this. So basically what you're going to do when you do this is you're going to go back to Oberlo and you're going to say add to import list. And you can literally go in and add all these to your import list if you want. This I probably won't add because it doesn't have any ratings yet. I don't want to be the first person to find out what people think about that. We'll add Darth Vader here. We'll add the Stormtrooper mask. And then just to give you an example, you can go through and add all these because it's going to take you a little bit of time, and this is going to be spent where most of your time is spent, adding products to your import list, then optimizing the import list and your listings. But these are your products. These are what you're going to want to sell. This is where you're going to take most of your time. But then once you're done, literally the process is automated, and you don't have to do any other work really besides ordering it. So it's really, really easy. And I'll show you a plugin that helps automate that process for you, and how Oberlo does that. So then once you add all those products that you picked, you can kind of keep in mind that you're going to categorize them too. Let's just pretend maybe you added 50 products, maybe you added 300, maybe you added 10. It depends on how much time you have, what your business model has, and how many of those type of products are in the actual store. Then you're going to go through, and once you have all those, like I said, you're going to want to keep them in mind. So maybe like this Darth Vader and this Yoda are going to go into a category action figures or something like that. And that's something to keep in mind when you're adding products. But just for reference, I'm going to end this here, and I'm going to go into show you how you're going to optimize your listings and how you're going to kind of go through and make sure that your listings stand out as best they can with what's given to you here in Oberlo and the wholesalers. So that's next. Stay tuned for that, guys.